Thank you, Mother, for joining me.
Hello, Dalton.
I don't know what to talk about.
You should be more prepared. How many times have you done
Well,
this at
no,
this
I
point?
get on here and then I just start talking and then just goes. I had like a few questions for Pastor Tim, but usually I just like ask them about their childhood or something. And that's usually how I start.
You know about my childhood.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to talk about that.
I don't think anybody wants to talk about that.
No, probably not. What do you think of me doing all this? Do you think it's stupid?
Don't do that with the chair. Well, I think you could make something more out of it.
What do you mean?
I think you with everything, like you give a little bit of effort, but then it like falls off real easy. I blame that on your father's genes. Me, I'm 110 all the way.
Well, what should I do to make this better then?
I already told you, you need to reach out to the Robertsons and you need to be going to seminary school.
I don't know. I'm not, dude. I don't want to. I don't want to be like restricted. Just like I know you don't have to
It
be
will
restricted.
give you a direction, I think. I think that it would give you a lot of ideas that you hadn't even thought about. Because you don't just have to stand up in front of a church to be a pastor.
Yeah, I know, but like, I don't really like want to be a pastor. I just want to like,
but
talk
like
to people.
I look at what's that guy's name that I like so much that did the retreat at Du Bois?
Craig?
Yeah. I mean, he hadn't even completed his because he's not ordained, but what he has done with his spiritual journey situation, he's at a camp now. He was in Highland with the youth, and
Is he still at Du Bois or what is he?
no, it's a different camp.
Oh,
I think in like Belleville or something like that.
there's a camp in Belleville.
I don't know the name of it for sure. Just don't quote me on any of this stuff.
Oh, okay. No, I don't. This is not really the route that I feel like I want to go down. I feel like I've put. I know what you mean. There's a lot of stuff I get into a lot for a little bit and then I just drop it, but I don't know. I've stayed consistent with it for a while. We've just been busy with stuff, so that's why I've been like not getting good at reaching out, and I'm trying to get a job.
Right.
So kind of worried about that too.
Me
right
too.
now. Yeah, I know you are. A little too much, but
There's no such thing as too much.
no, I'm usually pretty prepared. But like, you're my mom, so I could just hop on here and say whatever and root around.
You think?
Yeah,
I don't think we're that interesting.
yeah, we are. Well, there's people out there that are like, you watch the freaking Housewives. They're not that interesting. It's staged, and they just argue about stupid stuff, and people
Yeah, but
watch
I
it.
just like to watch other people rather than having to. It's my outlet.
Why do you
Everybody
like watching other people argue? Don't you feel like
It's
that's like
not. They're not always arguing.
it's like bad energy?
It's what you make of it.
What
I'm
what
just.
is
I
there to
like
make of it?
mind-numbing TV like that. I just like it.
I hate mind numbing rock.
You were just watching Back to the Future 3.
That's not mind numbing. That is
okay.
cinematic masterpiece right there.
Okay. All right. Cool.
And
Okay.
I haven't got to watch it in a long time.
Mm.
No, like Pastor Tim, the main. I wanted to know like why he chose to like be a pastor and all that stuff. What should I ask you? Why'd you want to be my mom or something?
I didn't get to pick you. God chose you for me.
What does that mean? I'm a mistake?
No. I told you many, many times that you were very, very wanted because we didn't think we were going to have kids. Not didn't think, we just didn't want to have kids because I never have been like a mom type person. Yeah, I played with babies and stuff, but it was like, and I babysat like a lot. But I didn't think I wanted to like have my own kid.
Yeah, I get it. I don't really like kids either.
But then we got older. 27. So old. And we were like, dang, we're watching people die around us and like, who's going to take care of you when you get older? So we were like, We're gonna need somebody to take care of us when we get older. Boom, tag, you're it.
Wow. Well, I will say this: I'm not planning on putting you on a nursing home. I really do not. I know you say like,
Well, the thing of it is, I mean, I know reality
no, but I
is
think that's terrible.
it
Like
is
all the
terrible,
people
but
that
it's
they leave them in, and then the people
yeah,
that just forget about them. Sorry, I'm just checking. The people that just forget about them and they just leave them in there for years and just
yeah,
don't care.
it's terrible. I mean, I watched it and I said I wouldn't do it either, but as we know, I can't promise anything.
Well, you can't help it. You get busy and stuff.
Well,
I don't know. I feel like when it's your own parents, it's different, I guess. I mean, your grandma and that's, I don't know. It's a hard thing, but
the thing of it is, it's really a case by case because when people have dementia and
oh, then yeah, they need somebody.
Alzheimer's and things like that, they need a care facility because
Yeah, but
in
do you
your
think it'd be
home, it's
better?
just so much. It's so
What's
much.
wrong within your home?
When you have dementia, you literally have to be up night and day with these people. They will get out of your house and run down the street.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, and you can't.
Yeah, but are they not going to do the same? I mean, they can't run out on the
They
street.
have door alarms and people on
Well, yeah, true.
working 24 hours a day that have rested. When you're in the home, you can't even rest. As soon as you
Mhm.
close your eye, they're down the street naked, and it's not even a joke.
It's kind of funny though.
Or that's how it goes.
Yeah. No, I don't. If I was like just an old person, I don't think I'd want to. No, what's the point of living if you're just like in a prison basically and you're just
Well, I mean,
that's rotten.
it goes two ways because sometimes people get put in facilities and they've lived alone for a long time and they almost enjoy it
That's true. That is a good thing.
because they're like, oh, now I have actual company.
But then there's the ones like that sit in their room staring at the wall and like remember that lady who when we went caroling she had like a baby that she thought was real or something. That stuff just creeps me out.
Well, it's called confusion, dementia, Alzheimer's.
Yeah, I know.
Creeps everybody out because nobody wants to be in that point.
Sorry, I'm being pretty boring right now. But
Yep.
well, what do you think of like how I'm all like weird about food and stuff, and you're a nurse. Do you, how much do you trust the like FDA and like stuff like that with like food and stuff? And do you think that illnesses like Alzheimer's and the stuff the old people have, dementia, and that, do you think that that's caused by some of the food that we eat, or what do you think?
What I think is a lot of people think that they know what they're doing and they're researchers and they're scientists by playing on the internet. The actual scientists, actual people that have gone to school for years and years and years to study things, as in red dye. That's some wacko, the same wacko that came up with, ooh, my kid got autism from the MMR. No proven fact. Dr. Sears, a fake doctor in England, made all this crap up to make these people not vaccinate their children. And that's caused people to die now. Die of measles that was nearly eradicated, but some wacko, and this information flew all over the place because of the internet.
But what was his goal? Like, what was his goal? That like, why would he want people to not get the vaccine?
Right, exactly. Because he wrote articles and did all kinds of weird stuff with it. I can't quote everything
like, what would
specifically right
him?
now, but he got money out of articles that he wrote and programs that he set up and stuff, and all these alternative schedules for vaccines and things like that. I mean, it was just ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous.
Now, I've seen some dudes that are. Now, I'm not trying to get into any vaccine things, but like the red dye thing, and then like stuff that people say causes like estrogenation and like stuff that has estrogen and it messes with your hormones. No, I've seen like actual doctors that have, like real doctors that have like talked.
Well, real doctors, as in, have you, your real doctor, did you completely research them and find out where they went to medical school?
Well, I know a lot of it's TikTok stuff.
Yeah, so don't tell me you've researched it until you've actually researched them down to the actual medical school where they went to and when they graduated. Because they can say all kind. I mean, I'm a doctor, baby. I am a doctor of I don't even know what, but I am.
No, I
You
know
know,
what you
I mean,
mean.
it's just BS, BS.
I don't know. There's just some stuff I see, and I just like I don't know. I'm
That's the
careful of
problem.
some. I feel like there's some truth to some of it.
There's some truth to a lot of things, but until you actually do that detailed of research, research is not just looking it up on the internet a little bit and going down these hidey holes
No, I
of
know. I don't even.
that's
I
just
don't really
not.
look at stuff that much anymore that I really come across anything. But
Yeah, and that's the thing. People just go on a tangent with
no, I
stuff.
know people get sucked into a lot of internet stuff.
Just
Where,
like the COVID vaccine. I mean, it was one person said, "Oh, I got, my big toe fell off because of the COVID
this
vaccine."
no, this is my problem with it though. I just think it's weird of like how serious and like restricting they got on it. Like I'm for like vaccines and stuff because like obviously like they save lives and
We were
stuff
in a
and we need
pandemic
them.
and people were dying. And we none had lived through a pandemic. We, as healthcare workers, have trained for a pandemic for years. But you don't even listen when they're like, "Well, it's this," and we're all like, "It's never going to happen," so we're ignoring it. Then all of a sudden, this pandemic falls out of the sky, and we're reversing back to actually using these things that we were trained for, and then everybody goes completely sideways crazy. I mean, they had to shut the country down to figure out what the heck was going on. We were working through something we never thought we would work through. And we're working through this with the internet and knowing information at the speed of light. When the other Spanish flu went on, you know, you had a letter that it took 2 weeks to get across the country to figure out what was going on, or we had a telegraph that that wasn't even very accurate by the time it got from Chicago to Sacramento. You know, I mean, this is a huge difference, and nobody wants to say, "Oh, yeah, maybe we should have just slowed down and thought about things for a minute rather than my big toe fell off because I got the COVID vaccine." I mean, come on. Think of that right now saying that. Now, in 2020, if you heard, well, it wasn't even 2020 when we got the freaking vaccine, but whatever, during the pandemic, when we heard that, people were like, "Yeah, yeah, her toe fell off because of the COVID vaccine. So I'm not getting the COVID vaccine." Okay, well, good luck to you then. I mean, it's just like, come on. I mean, but of course, you
Yeah.
don't want me to talk about the COVID vaccine because
No, I know.
I
I'm gonna go on a
I
Facebook
really
rant.
should work for Pfizer because
No,
I
I
don't want
don't.
my COVID vaccine.
I just like I think it's like a lot of like people's choice and stuff. That's but I know they like shut down the country and stuff. And,
I mean, sure, it sounds fine to have people's choice. Well, hey, people's choice, go over there in your colony and don't go touch anybody then if you want a people's choice it. Okay?
yeah, I get
Don't
it.
be coming out and touching all my stuff and trying to kill me because that's where I was at with everything. Because those people were talking out of both sides of their head because
Yeah, there was some
they were
wild stuff
scared
with it,
too,
but
and then the next second they're like, "I ain't wearing no mask." But
I think
I don't
everybody
think
was
we
just
should talk
freaking
about
out about
COVID.
everything.
I don't want to talk about COVID.
No, I get it. It was a stupid time.
It was just a lot.
No, I don't trust some of the FDA stuff because just like some of the government stuff, like it just bought out by companies and stuff, and
I
like
mean, every single thing in this country is
I
somehow
know it's like
tweaked
monopolized
or
or
paid off. Right, exactly. The monopoly situation. And do I agree with that? No. We should have so much variety. And we do in some ways because
variety in types of medicine, or what do you
we
mean?
should have variety in everything. We shouldn't just have Walmart and Target. I want Walmart, Target, I want Kmart, I want Venture, I want all these different places because I want a lot of options to go shop at and find stuff at. I want different things.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's why we have to uh, patronize our local mom and pop places too.
Yeah.
You know, but the local mom and pops, they have to try to get their stuff from, you know,
Big places
big
too.
places too, and then they have to raise the price to be able to survive, and they can't, you know. So it's again, these are
Yeah.
roads that nobody wants to go down because we all know what we live in.
No, no. I don't even know how to fix some of it because a
Well,
lot of it's just people chasing money and they just need to stop because they got enough.
well, there is a lot of that. Yeah. But then there's other people that just don't want to work, and well, I made $100 today because I made a notebook on Amazon and then I sold it for $8 a piece. I mean, come on, that's like that works. I mean, all those people on TikTok that write that crap, no, no,
Hey, if it's working.
it ain't working. It is not working.
Nah, I think people should actually work. I mean, if you can find a realistic thing that's different to sell stuff, but
Right, that you act like if you're
but
in your
actually,
basement and making like homemade paper and
yeah,
putting
exactly.
flowers in it or something, and then you're selling on Amazon,
No, but
then
not just
go
making
get
some
it.
Chinese or some stupid
Right,
BS.
but going out to Dollar General and buying like 25 little notepads and then somehow reselling them for more. I mean, come on, and going to Walmart and buying candy and then reselling them on Amazon.
If it works though.
Here's what it. As soon as I read on these TikToks and I ain't buying no candy from Walmart. I mean, from Amazon no more. I'll just go down to the dang Walmart myself. I want it fresh.
I'm not saying I'm buying it from them. I'm just saying if they can find people out there that are dumb enough to buy it, then
Well, I mean, it's one of those
props
things
to
you
them.
can't help because, sometimes you're like, well, I'm in a bind. I don't have time to go nowhere, so I'll just buy this on Amazon real quick. Well, some jerkwad went to Walmart. They bought that. First off, it took how long for the Walmart to get that candy? Okay. It drove around in a truck. Finally made it to Walmart. Then Sally Sue goes to Walmart and buys that whatever kind of candy. Then it sits at her house for how long until she sells it on Amazon, which, I mean, yes, it's got a sell by date, but what I'm saying is, how long has that been drug around? So here's what I'm saying. PSA, everybody, don't buy candy on Amazon. That's what I'm thinking. Okay, I want fresh
What about
candy.
There's this guy, and I talked to Uncle Bill about this because I'm thinking about like I've been playing around with that wood stuff. But there was this guy I seen. He went to like Home Depot, got one of those boards or something, marked off every half an inch, and then he like cut it up, made it like sanded them down, made them into coasters and stuff, and then sold those.
Right. I mean, at least he made something.
Yeah, that's true. He's not just directly like reselling. He actually made it into
right.
something else.
Exactly.
Just
like with my craft stuff. I mean, even if it's some glass thing that I've recycled,
mm-hmm.
I painted it and made my own thing out of it.
Why didn't you ever like put that on Etsy? Did you say it's too expensive, or what was wrong with
Etsy was just hard. I thought I couldn't put enough effort into Etsy, and
what about
you
the
have
TikTok
to pay.
shop?
I'm not doing TikTok shop nothing. No.
No, I know you have to pay. I mean, it makes sense. They're letting you use their store, I guess. But
right, but it's just I
have
would
you looked
rather
at like
that.
Shopify?
No, I clearly right now I want a huge craft show break.
No,
because I
know.
don't have time.
We're dealing with house stuff and that.
Right. Someday, supposedly, we're going to be done moving.
I don't think it's ever gonna happen. I'm just kidding.
4 months of moving.
It'll be done.
This is what you look like.
Rotten hole.
All right.
So, Daddy, what got you like? You did youth group stuff with me at the church and stuff. What got you into that, I guess?
Well, seriously, I was sitting in church and Gary kept saying, it was like week after week, he was saying, we're looking for somebody to youth group, somebody to youth group. And I was like, I've done a lot of volunteering stuff, and I thought, I can do youth group. Let me try it. Let me see what I can do with this.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, I was bored. How bored I get so often.
You already had a bunch of things that you were doing during.
Right. But I was doing PTO at the time, but I was about to wrap that up. That was coming to an end. So
you had to find something to
fill that
torture
void.
yourself with.
Yeah. Because if I stay busy, then I'm not thinking about things. And I'm thinking about things, and I'm sad. So nobody wants that. So yeah. Then I was like, I can do youth group, and then I started with two kids, two boys.
What, me and?
No, Cameron and Troy.
Oh, okay.
And then we had two other kids that didn't come very much. And then, then you and Lily, I drug you guys along, even though you weren't old enough for youth group technically, but
Yeah.
I was already doing stuff. So, and then it just kind of snowballed after we somehow, Brittany and Bailey started coming.
Mhm.
Then Haley started coming.
Mhm.
And then I would always be like, bring a friend, bring a friend. So they would always have friends. And I mean, you never knew what we were going to have. And we just, I mean, of course, I was just like, let's go do soup kitchens. Let's go do this. Let's go do that. So we were staying active, and
Mhm.
Brittany and Bailey were always like, we need to do this. We need to. So they were always giving suggestions and stuff. So it just kind of kept rolling.
That's
And I
pretty
mean, we
cool.
had quite a few good years of stuff.
Mhm.
And then when, yeah, your age group started coming up.
Yeah.
So I had like 2 generations pretty much that I went through.
That's true.
So yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. I mean, we had a lot of fun.
No,
Cooked a
I know.
lot of breakfast. A lot of breakfast.
Me and Ethan always talk at track about the Kentucky trip like all the time.
Yeah,
I
2
miss it.
mission
It's
trips.
fun.
I mean, that was a lot
For that little
of
church, that was a lot.
right, a lot of fundraising.
Mhm.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun. I mean, I had a lot of fun. I really liked.
Was it expensive to do that thing?
Not
Mission
really.
trip?
Not really.
What did they charge us to stay at that place?
Yeah, you had to pay maybe like $300 a kid or something, which isn't that bad, really,
Really?
because food was included and stuff.
Yeah,
But yeah.
little sandwiches.
Huh?
I said, yeah, little sandwiches.
Well, we had to make our own sandwiches for lunch. Yeah.
And they charge us $300?
Yeah, but I mean, you think about that. That's not bad
I guess.
price.
True. I mean, at least, yeah, they were grilling at
And I had
night
spoke to a
stuff.
different church that had gone, and they were like, "Yeah, we liked it." And
Mm-hmm.
I thought we did not like it. We had fun ourselves, but
Yeah,
that group that was
the
putting it on,
actual, not with the,
not good.
yeah, not with the adult people that were sort of
Well,
adult young kids that were in
that's what I was
charge
going
of
to say. They were young adults, and that's why it was kind of run amok.
it. That last day when they were dragging that speaker down the hall to wake us up.
It was just bad. It was a bad ending.
And you're just like,
Unfortunately.
guys, get your stuff. We're out of here.
Yeah, we're done.
That was funny. It's Friday. Friday.
Ugh, not good.
What, like, um, if you always, like, believed in God,
You should
since,
never have your hand by your mouth.
I don't know, I just do that out of, like,
Just saying.
so sorry. You always, like, you went to Sunday school and all that, didn't you?
I went. I went to Sunday school since probably before I was 4.
Did Grammy and Gramps take you to, did you go to church, like, every Sunday?
We went to church a lot when I was really little, and then it just started like falling off as I got older
Oh,
because
really?
they were busy doing different things and stuff.
Yeah.
But then I would go by myself because I went all the way through confirmation, of course, and
Did you just, like, walk up there, right?
they would drop me off, or yeah, I would go by
Oh,
myself, or like if I was staying, they were out of town camping or something, I would stay at Grandma and Grandpa's Obrus, and they would drop me off at church because Grandma and Grandpa's Obrus didn't really go to church.
oh, really?
Yeah.
I wonder why that is.
I don't know what had happened, but they were like really a lot of anti St. Jacob stuff for some reason.
Anti St. Jacob.
Yeah,
They, like, live there. It doesn't even make any sense.
I know, but for some reason, so I think something had happened, but then I never know what it
Someone
was.
made them mad or something, I guess.
Which, I mean, we understand.
Yeah, when you're old people, it's easy to get mad, I guess.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just easy to have, for whatever reason, lots of hurt feelings happen at church, and it's a shame. It's really a shame,
Yeah, it is.
but it happens a lot. You see it a lot.
Yep, I've definitely seen it.
Yeah, sad.
No, people just get, I don't know, they just argue about stupid stuff at church, and I feel like they get caught up in the money stuff and other things, and they don't realize what the actual goal is.
Right, right. And that's where the shame of it is.
So you just, like, you went through confirmation, you just stayed there until Dad came along, and then you drug Dad there.
Yeah, and I mean,
Did you ever go to Catholic church with Dad or no?
I did.
What'd you think of that?
We went to one Catholic church that I really liked, But I just really have a problem. I call it chanting, that they just say the same thing over and over again.
Yeah,
and
they like ritualize it.
yeah, and it gets to be so mundane that you don't see Jesus in that. I
No,
don't care what you say.
that's true. I've
Just like
heard.
when we say the Lord's Prayer, sometimes you just are so used to saying it that you don't. When somebody says, kind of breaks it down, sometimes you're like, oh, that word
Then
is
you
in there.
realize what you're actually saying.
Yeah, and
It's
you're
not
like,
just
wow, huh.
repeating.
Yeah, so there's some good and there's some bad in some of that stuff.
Hmm.
But that was my problem with, and I mean,
I don't
there's
agree
just
with
a
a lot
lot
of
of
things.
Catholic stuff that is just really too extreme for me, and
The
I can't handle
statues,
it.
that's like against the Bible. The
Well,
Virgin Mary.
that doesn't even bother me. It just so many of the anti, and not having an open communion like you.
Yeah,
I don't
like,
believe in that at all.
I think they get, like, I was talking to Dad about this, and no hate to the Catholics, but I think they just get caught up in their own traditions and stuff and ways that they've done things for so long, and they just like gatekeep things, and that's not like what Jesus would want at all,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. And it's just, I mean, we had a lot of traditions and things like that at St. Jacob that
Hmm.
I got used to too. And then when you step to the side of that, it was
Like what kind of tradition?
like, as in, you don't take communion, like kids don't take communion because they haven't been through confirmation.
Oh, do other churches have kids take it?
Yeah, right,
Oh, really?
right. So, I mean, that is one thing that
Hmm.
I would be like, what are you doing? But then, so it's hard. It's hard.
No, true. I don't know what to think about kids taking communion. I guess maybe like, I mean, Jesus like loved children and stuff. Maybe he wanted him to do that.
Right.
So I
That's
don't.
where you kind of go, maybe, yeah.
I mean, I
And
get not having them drink wine and stuff. They're like little kids, but like grape
I mean,
juice and
just like too, when there's churches that don't want kids in church, they want them to be in like the daycare or whatever,
yeah.
you know. And there's both ways of seeing it, but
If they're in there and they're actually like trying to teach them in simpler terms what they're learning, then I think that's good. But if they're just playing and like,
yeah, but I mean, and it is torture sometimes for kids to sit still
hmm,
in church. So I get it. I get it.
yeah,
But I don't I would never, and that was something that was hard for me to change in my mind too. Want to be in a church that if a baby was crying, they felt like they needed to leave. Because if you have a quiet church and there's no babies, you're not alive. You know what I mean? You're just dying. You're slowly dying.
that's yeah. But you
And
mean like
I didn't
'cause
go to church with a baby because didn't want to feel like I was disrupting everybody. But then on the flip side, now being older, I wouldn't want somebody to leave church because their baby was crying. You know what I mean?
you mean like because they're the next generation and they should
Right.
like stay there.
Right.
And that's probably why, yeah, because I think that's what happened at St. Jacob was like a lot of the young people they all kind of just left. They don't have much young people.
Yeah. Right. And we always said that. I mean, I sat in a million different meetings at church.
And the Sunday school, like they just lost all the
Yeah.
kids.
But it's, you got to do stuff out of the box all the time to
Hmm.
keep, because everybody's schedules are crazy now
Yeah,
and everything, and you're competing with a lot of stuff. So
sports
big
and
mega churches, they got stuff going on every day of the week most of the time because they're trying to grab families whenever they can grab them.
then they have like activities that are at the church, like the
Yeah.
sports are at the church, so they just
Right.
take everything
Right.
all in one basket.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good thing.
But I just don't think there's one box that all church stuff fits into, and it's hard to find a church home.
No, it's true. What do you like? You think you like mega church is better or like the small church?
It all just depends, because now we've been to a lot of mega churches,
A lot
and
of them. We only been to like two,
no, I've been to more than you probably.
probably, because you've gone to those speaking things.
Yeah. And I mean, when we got baptized by Phil Robertson, I
Was their church like a mega church?
it is a big church.
Oh, really?
It
I
is a
assumed
big
it'd be
church.
some like
No, it is big. but they had it set up so nice. Like the lady that helped me into the baptism thing and all that kind of stuff, she was just so warm and welcoming. And that's if these churches have all that set up and not being like creepy weirdo like. And she wasn't. She was just talking like me and you are talking right now, and she was really nice and everything. Not like, oh, we got to get you back here, and just that. It was just really, really friendly, and I knew that was another day too that it was like that was meant to be. That whole situation was meant to be because it worked out. I didn't know. I'd researched and researched and researched before we went down there, but I couldn't figure out how I was going to get to Phil Robertson to get baptized and how you did that. I really just couldn't figure it out. And then all of a sudden I see on their website or something that he does this 9:00 meeting before church, which I kind of knew about that from listening to the podcast and stuff. And of course I really wanted to get baptized in the river. Yeah. That's what I thought. Does he do that? Yeah, he does sometimes.
Oh, really? That's really cool.
Yeah, but of course, the river, scary snakes, bugs, yucky. Do I really want to do that?
Get baptized and then get bit by a cotton mouth.
Right. So, anyways, I was like, well, that's a little bit of a pipe dream that was going to happen.
Yeah.
But anyways, so we're sitting at the hotel. I figured this out finally. So I'm like, okay, at 9:00, we're going to head over to the church and we're going to go to Phil's thing first. And we roll up and walk in and sit down, and the lady, again, very welcoming. It was a little bitty hall, like really small, on the side of the church. I think it had been a house or something. So we sat down, and more people had come in, but there was still like maybe 50 of us in there. There wasn't very many people. And
50 all for that meeting?
Yeah. Because they had like chairs set up in rows and stuff like that. And I mean, it was really laid back type of, because, he kind of like preached. And so at the end, he's like, if anybody wants to get baptized, and he kind of had talked about it a little bit beforehand too. And everybody was being like really, like nobody was raising their hand and acting like they wanted to be baptized. And then, and you kind of go, maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I, nah. Like we got this far. This is
better
good.
Have no.
This is good. This is good. And then I'm like, no. We've come all this way. We stayed in the hotel. We left you here with Ranger, with Billy and Tanya. We had done all these things to set this up, and it's all lining up. So, and your dad, of course, he's just like,
yeah, Dad's also,
right? He goes completely being quiet, and I'm like, nope. I went up there to the table, and I'm like, he's like, I want to get baptized. And it's like, okay, well, we'll take you over the yeah, I said it right to Phil. And he's like, okay, well, we'll take you over to the church. And he's like, we got 2, they're going to get baptized, So then we walked over to the church, and I mean, it was like so surreal. Like you knew that was from God. Just like with this house too, when we were getting ready to move.
Yeah, how smooth it went.
Yeah, it everything just like fell into place. It was like you knew that. And that's the thing. I believe in God because I've had signs like that. I mean, if you're a non-believer, I think sometimes that people don't want to believe in that. And they're just like, things just work out. Well, I think God has a
little more to it than that.
I think he does.
No, you guys were wondering about, how people debate, like, if you get baptized second time, then you're canceling out, like, all those stupid. I read a verse in the Bible, like, this is a while back. Freaking plane. But it was saying how your baptism isn't really a baptism unless you're, like, actually, like, receiving. Like, when you're a baby, like, I don't think you really understand what's going on. I mean, there's 2 sides of it. Like you said, you're kind of, like, protecting the baby from the devil and stuff when they're younger.
Yeah.
But, like, you're just a baby. You don't really understand what's happening. But when you're an adult, like, you're actually, like, you know what you're doing and, like, you're receiving it.
And I mean, I would go get baptized like 15, 20 more times because I just think that it's just like you're renewing yourself each time going, I believe in Jesus. I believe in God. Wash it over me. Help me. You know what I mean? Because I think it helps you every single time. Like every single time you're like, yes, I can be a better person. I can do better things. I
Mhm.
can be strong. Because I think that's how God leads us, keeps us strong, keeps us safe.
Exactly. No, I think people just the same thing with the Catholic thing and all that. Like they just make rules out of stuff, and I don't think
Hmm.
God made this to be like we have the Ten Commandments and the things of trying to be a good person, more like Jesus, but He didn't make it to be some
Right.
all
Well,
these rules and stuff.
and I'm not a Bible person. You know that.
Yeah, I know you
That
are.
is not for me. It does not help me at all. What helps me is feeling Jesus in those moments that I just talked to you about,
But I think it's good that
and
like
serving.
at least you. Well, that's good. That's what God gave you to do. But I feel like I think it's good that you listen to like the podcast and stuff because then that's your way of like getting the word and stuff. Because I mean, they talk about the word and they kind of go over it without you having to read it.
Yeah,
Because I get
because
it. Because I don't really like to read either. I've just been kind of like,
well, and I just get wrapped up and I get bored. I get bored very easily, and I can't help it. I have to be doing, and when I'm volunteering and when I'm being good to people, and I'm, you know, and there's days that you're like, okay, I've had my limit of being nice, but
yeah,
when you're trying to like let people in on the roads, you know, telling them, hey, you dropped your Kleenex, hey, you left your phone behind, that kind of, that's kindness. That's, I think you need to look out for other people. That's what we were put on this earth to do. And the people that don't look out for other people and don't care, well,
yeah.
that's a shame, you know. And again, we all have days where we're just like, look,
No, it's true. We're not perfect, but we need more people who care more often and more about others than themselves.
right. And I mean, I may seem like a mean person most of the time, but
You're not.
really, I care about people a lot,
I know you do.
and I can't turn that off.
Hmm.
It's just like my attention situation of sitting still and listening to Bible verses. I just can't. Now, if you said, "Hey, while I read this to you, you move all these boxes and sort this and paint this house?" Yep, you betcha. Love to, because then I'm busy.
Yeah, I get it.
Because these got to be busy, or this is out of control.
Hmm. No, I get it because you told Dad that it's like school. I don't know. I hate school too, and just that kind of stuff. But I don't know. I've been trying to read more, and that I think it's good for me, and it's helped me a little bit. So I think it's whatever works for you. You know.
Well, I
I,
agree with that completely. Then pushing, you have to do
when
that.
you do that,
It's
you just push them farther away. You know.
yeah.
So that's what I think about it. All right. Well, we don't have to go too much longer. Sorry, I wasn't very organized, but yeah, I've been trying like who else should I get on here? That's my problem. I gotta like reach out more, but then I mean, you know what happened last week? That kind of threw me out of sorts, and then trying
Yeah.
to find a job and everything.
I think you need to have questions ready though, because that keeps
No,
it.
that's I usually like, but the problem is I try not to like get so stuck
Can
into
we
those
turn this off and go
questions.
in?
What?
Can we turn this off?
Let's finish this. I try not to like. I try not to like sit there and get so sucked into the questions because then when I'm only focused on them, then I can't think about what
Well,
we're
it just
talking
gives you
about
a
here.
template. You don't have to go on it specifically.
I
Just
know
a
I get
little
it, but
bit.
I that's how my mind works. If I have that, then I'm just like I get I'm easily like stuck to it. So that's what my problem is. But usually I try and have something in my head like with Pastor Tim I told you like I was like I want to know like why he decided to become a pastor and he had like a really interesting story in that. So that was pretty cool. And then I did have a few questions wrote down that I asked him at the end and that. So I think that was pretty good. What do you think? Who do you think I should get on here next, or how should I find more people?
Maybe
Like
you should ask your audience to give you an idea.
maybe and give me an
Maybe
idea.
you'd have a volunteer.
Volunteer, maybe. True. That's a thought. All right, I'll let you be done. Thanks
I'm
for
ready.
doing this with me.
Okay.
I'm working on getting Dad to do it, but I don't want to be on camera. No.
Yeah.
So.
Good luck to you.